support the real, so I'ma tune in every day. Way up. You are now tuned in to Angela, but I call her Yee. Way up.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Good morning, Angela.
Oh my gosh. We were walking down the street today, and this guy was like, Angela. He was like, oh, and the brand, Jasmine brand.
He's like, what's her name?
Jasmine brand. But
that was
yes, funny. What a great day it is. It's a hump day. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was a big day, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But did have a closing yesterday.
Woo!
My heart hurts. My stomach hurts. I'm nervous. But yes, so appreciative of that. Shout out to everybody in Detroit. You'll be seeing me there a lot dealing with this building.
Yep.
This is my biggest purchase to date, and I can't wait to talk more about it. But Jasmine also invested.
I did.
Because she's not just
any brand.
She's the Jasmine brand. But I always say it's so important who you surround yourself with, people that want to uplift each other, that want to do things, make money together.
Right, for sure.
All right? So if y'all got some dead weight around you, cut it off.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding.
You're not.
You could still be friends with them.
Okay.
All right, well, let's shine a light on them.
Okay.
You guys are going to call us up. 800-292-5150 is the number. And since we're talking about finances, you know it's a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So today is Wealth Wednesday, which I'm really excited for this one. Today we actually have Jennifer Streaks on the show. And she is a financial expert. And I actually have been following her for quite some time on social media. So this is my first time meeting her in person. But she's a writer, a journalist for Business Insider.
Okay.
But she's worked in a lot of different spaces when it comes to being a finance reporter and spokesperson and all of that. So shout out to her for coming through, because there's so much going on right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we really need to make sure that we're watching everything. I was reading more about like other banks that might be in danger of collapsing, where you're putting your money. Is it a good time to invest in real estate? How should you be making sure that you save for retirement? How do you get rid of your credit card debt? All of those things are so important.
Yeah, I have some questions for her too, so I'm excited to talk to her.
All right. Well, you guys, let's shine a light on people doing positive things. And shout out to Jasmine for investing. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited too. I'm a little cash poor right now, but I'm excited.
I'm cash poor too, but it's okay, because you know what? We got assets.
We do.
And let me tell you, that money sitting in the bank isn't going to do anything for you.
Ain't doing a thing.
That money got to get out and work for you, okay? That money got to get a job. 800-292-5150. Call us up, shine a light on them. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here. Why'd you open up your eyes so wide?
I don't know. We had a long night.
Yeah, we had a long day. We celebrated yesterday.
We did.
You know, we did a closing. The celebration started off slow.
But
the house.
It did.
With some fried chicken.
Yes, that chicken is so good.
From Blue Ribbon.
Woo!
And then we moved on over to Brooklyn Chop House.
We did.
And I don't know what happened. But we do want to shine a light on my real estate attorney.
Okay.
Serge, I can't pronounce his last name, Mektiev. I've never had to say it. Mektiev.
Okay.
But shout out to Serge, by the way. So anytime I do a closing on something, he's my attorney. And this one was a really long, drawn out. Honestly, I was supposed to close on this last year.
So you've been working on this deal for a year with Serge.
It's been so many delays, so many extensions. Finally got it done, and we couldn't have done it without him. He said he felt bad having to call me all the time to tell me what else was necessary and what was needed.
Yeah.
But I just want to shine a light on you, Serge, for being so patient.
Thank you,
and
Serge.
so kind. And for the champagne. That's what's fun. The fun thing about closing is they always have a bottle of something for you, and then you
bottle of something special.
Celebrate. But I'm definitely cash poor now, so if you see me, offer to pay. No. But who do you guys want to shine a light on? 800-292-5150. LaKid, good morning. What about you?
Good morning. I just want to shine a light on myself. Like sometimes, you go through life, you work so hard and you do so much. And, I've been at a fast pace that I haven't had the time to really look at what I've done. But I'm a military veteran, a business owner, entrepreneur, rapper. I done done it all. So I just wanted to give a shout out to myself and then to the veterans and to the truck drivers out there.
Okay, we love that, yourself and all the other veterans and truck drivers. And thank you so much for your service.
Absolutely.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Can I shout out my Insta? You know, since I did say I'm a rapper. So,
All right, look kid.
Let's hear, before you do that, we want to hear something. Let's hear a little something. A little.
Y'all want to hear something?
Yeah, let's get a verse.
I want to hear something for the ladies or?
Yeah, we the ladies.
My daughter.
Yep.
Okay. We don't love our women no more. All fellas doing now is calling them thoughts. I'm going to show you how to love them in case you forgot. And it's going to help you with your jumper when taking your shot.
Hey.
You better put that woman first. Jaheim told you that in the early 2000s.
Ooh.
Take her on a trip to see a tropical island.
Hey.
Make her feel special, surprise her with nice flowers, appreciate her. Because if you don't, another man will. She got looks that'll make another man kill. Keep it real. She trying to build, bro. Make smart investments to increase her cash flow.
Oh.
Now, you don't want to lose a woman like that. She eat right and hit the gym, lose fat. Her whole meal, she too good to be a snack. She go from L.A. to Miami like Shaq.
I love it. Okay.
All right.
Look, kid, what's your social media?
I call Love by Women. My social media, I go by the name of Lock Kid. You can follow me on Instagram. That's LAKIDD.
Okay.
No cap. That's NOCAP. And I do have a link in my bio to my catalog. I got a big catalog.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'm not the average Joe.
We're going to pass this on to Mano when he's up here.
Okay. I truly appreciate that.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Lakid.
kid.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Take care.
All right. Well, that was Shine a Light on Him. And you know that's brought to you by Born in Roma by Valentino. It's why I smell so good. Available at Macy's. And we got Yeetie when we come back. Let's talk about Don Lemon. Somebody is coming to his defense. And she works on The View. And they've been friends for 20 years. All right. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And let's get into this Yeetie.
Okay.
Don Lemon. It feels like this is going to be something talked about for a while.
Yes.
Everyone has a different opinion. And on The View, Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar actually defended him and said that they've been friends with him for 20 years.
Okay.
I hate that people are comparing Tucker's firing with Don's firing. That's a false equivalency. And just to put a button on it, Don, yes, said some things that were sexist and I think ageist. He apologized for them and received formal training.
And you know,
and he spoke to us.
I know him too. We all know him here, but you know he has been on the air for a long time fighting bigotry, whereas Tucker has been fomenting bigotry.
They hate the fact that it happened on the same day, so everybody is talking about Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson and putting them together.
Yeah,
you know?
and they had a good point. That's not really fair.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's two different people in two different situations.
All right, now Don Lemon is anticipating leaving with a $25 million payout because he had a contract that was through 2026, but he actually has a lawyer just in case.
Of course.
They try not to pay him.
Of course.
And so that should be interesting, right? He signed a deal that promised him $7 million a year for the next 3 years. So despite his rocky exit after 17 years, they said that Don Lemon has been assured by CNN that he will be paid the remainder of his contract, but he does have a lawyer. That lawyer, by the way, is Brian Friedman.
Okay.
He represents both Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson.
Well, okay. Okay. All right. Got it.
So according to Forbes, though, Brian Friedman is one of the he represents some of the biggest names in the media world. They call him the go-to lawyer for crisis litigations. He's represented Quentin Tarantino, Gabrielle Union. He also represented NBC anchor Megyn Kelly after the network fired her, and she got a settlement for about $30 million.
Okay, so he has a proven track record.
Right, so that happened. They were like, get Brian Friedman on the line.
Get him. Let's get B-Boy.
But you know what? $25 million, you're getting paid out your contract, and you don't have to work.
That ain't bad.
But I guess, you know, he loves his job, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so.
and he's going to get another job, so he's fine.
All right, so that's your lowdown on that.
Okay.
Now, Love is Blind. You saw that they've been having these petitions to replace Nick and Vanessa Lachey.
Okay.
And according to insiders that told thedailymail.com, there's been whispers about replacing them, especially now after the live reunion special, which was a complete disaster on so many levels. I mean, it was trending. People were going in.
Yeah.
But it was because of technical difficulties. But they also didn't like the way that Vanessa Lachey was having some type of favoritism to certain contestants from Love is Blind. Well, they're saying that the favorites to replace them possibly could be Lauren Speed and Cameron Hamilton.
Okay.
All right. They also met during the first season on Love is Blind. I actually watched that. They got married, and it seems like they're very in love. They're always like posting pictures together. It really seemed to have worked out for them.
They're really cute.
Yeah. So viewers do feel a connection with them because they feel like they're the real deal.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't mind seeing them.
Yeah. So that could happen. You got to watch Love is Blind. You got to be on it.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to be on Love is Blind. Second of all, I did watch the reunion.
Okay.
I watched it. So, I mean, I didn't watch the season. And you talk about it so much, it's kind of hard not to, it's like, okay, girl. Like,
all right, and Javante Davis has his next contender, according to his manager, Calvin Ford. And they're already getting ready for this fight. And they think the best bet would be a rematch against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He believes that would be a big challenge for him. People wanted to see him fight whoever was the winner between Devin Haney and Lomachenko.
Right.
People are looking for it. And I think that fight is going to actually end up happening at some time.
Okay.
Tank versus Devin Haney. So we shall see. But what they're saying that this fight would set the record straight. Since according to him, he had a hand injury. So they said it would be a real way to see
who's
the
the real
real
winner.
winner.
Okay.
Yes.
And do we have a time frame for this new fight? Or it's just too soon to know?
Yeah, we don't know yet. But
Okay.
we just know that's the plan.
And Tank won the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's undefeated.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have About Last Night. And it was a doozy. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Last night.
So, about last night.
Last night.
Here's how it went down.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Good morning, Angela.
Thank you to Susan Serrano. She sent me $1 on Cash App and said, congrats on your closing. That's nice. I'll take it.
That is very nice. No one else, please send.
Please send money my catnip.
No, we're not doing that
Last
today,
time
Angela.
I got like $30.
I know, Angela, we're not doing that today.
All right. Well, I need it. So last night was really an amazing day.
Yes.
And I just closed on a property that we've been working on getting done for like a year. I'm all about investing. I did not anticipate having to invest this full amount. So full disclosure, I had this goal of putting together a group of women that would invest in real estate. So
Right.
this was my first project that I was doing.
Yes.
And one person pulled out at the last minute.
Okay.
And so that left a really huge financial gap.
Right.
And I wasn't sure if we would be able to make this happen. Fortunately, Jasmine came through with an investment.
Whew.
And shout out to Jessica and to my girl Topeka.
Yes.
From Ladies of Hope Ministries. And part of the goal for this project is to make sure that a portion of these units, it's a 30-unit building.
Right. And it's in
Midtown Detroit. Will be available for women who were formerly incarcerated.
Right.
To be able to have amazing housing in a great location. And yes, because, Topeka's formerly incarcerated. She has her own organizations that specifically deals with that.
Right.
And she really inspired me. She had me go and go into the prison and talk to people there, both from the men's side and the women's side. And just from her own experiences, that educated and opened up my eyes a lot.
Right.
And I want to do these investments, right? And so part of it is like putting together people. This is going to be for her, for all of us, our first really, really big investment. And
Yes.
this was the hardest deal to get done because none of us have any experience in investing in things like this. So
Right.
banks, it was really hard to get a loan. And full disclosure, like at first, I wanted to get a hard money loan.
Yes, you did.
You might see those. But I talked to John Hope Bryan from Operation Hope. He's been up here before on Wealth Wednesdays.
Right.
He has that nonprofit Operation Hope, which you guys should definitely check out if anybody needs financial services. It's free and it's for the community. And he was like, don't do that, Angela. If I could give you any advice on anything and you don't listen to anything else, do not do a hard money loan.
Okay.
In this situation, those things are set up for you to fail.
Yes.
If you miss a payment, it's really high interest, a high risk, something happens, they could take your property. They wanted me to put up my own brownstone in Brooklyn that I own as collateral. So if something would have happened, they would seize that.
Right.
And he was just like, it's not a good idea. And
Okay.
I'm begging you don't do that. He was telling me about other instances
Right.
that happened where people were in the hole and ended up paying way more. I was like, you know what? All right. So I went to my real estate attorney, Serge. And he actually was able to link me up with a bank, Colorado Federal Savings Bank, and they specialize in loans like this, right? Like a commercial property, but it needs rehab.
Okay.
And so it was a way better interest rate. Didn't have to put up my house as collateral.
Yeesh.
And yeah, finally got the deal done, but it was an expensive one, but it's also a great deal. So.
Yes.
That's all to say. That's what happened last night.
Yeah.
And on a smaller level, I want to say, I first got started in real estate maybe about 10 years ago. I bought my first property. And so I've been like investing ever since. And it has certainly been one of the smartest things I've done with my money. And part of it was me really going hard to save up money. I had all kinds of side jobs to be able to do my first down payment. And people will tell you whatever they want to tell you about real estate. Everybody has different advice depending on who you talk to. But I do want to say, do your research, do your due diligence, and take your time. Don't rush into anything just to get it done.
Absolutely.
All right. And that is our About Last Night. And we do have Wealth Wednesday today, so I love to be able to talk about that today. But when we come back, this is fun. Tell us a secret. That's where you guys call in and anonymously tell us a secret. We do not judge you at all. 800-292-5150. Tell us a secret when we come back.
Oh, tell us a secret.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Good morning, Angela.
We are in silly moods today.
We are.
Okay. And right now, so speaking of being in a silly mood, is Tell Us a Secret. And this is very serious business.
Okay. All right.
All right. But it's also a no judgment zone. You guys get to call in. You remain anonymous. We have no idea who you are. And just tell us a secret. It might be something that you've never shared with anybody else, or something that a very limited amount of people know. Maybe just you and the other person that you that's involved in it. All right. But we're not here to judge you. We're just here for you to clean the slate.
Release.
800-292-5150 is the number. And if you don't get through, still keep calling and leave a message, because we do play it at the end of the show. And we always want to hear from you. All right. So let's get into it. Anonymous caller, tell us a secret.
Hey, I had a secret, though. This is probably about a year or something ago, though. But my brother,
Yeah, right
he
into
was
it.
married to this girl, though. He, you know what I'm saying? He went to deployment or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he always be hating, though.
Okay.
But me and his girl had got together, though. They still together right now.
Wait. You got with his girl, but your brother is still with the girl.
Yeah, he don't know it, though. I can't destroy no happy home.
Yeah.
So how did it happen?
So so he was already gone, though. So, he got a dog with him. So, I'd come watch the dog and stuff like that. And, it was one day I was there, and she was talking to me about how long she was. I was fine and stuff like that, but they creeped up on her like that.
How many
We
times?
was doing this about how many times?
Yeah.
Probably it's like 5, 6 times. It's been while he was gone though, but he back though, so I don't even go over there no more.
Okay, so now would you still continue to do it if you have to go back there if he leaves again?
Yeah, I mean, if she get lonely though, because that's what brothers are for.
Oh my God, you really don't like your brother.
Nah, he always hating that, even ever since a kid. You know what I'm saying? I got in trouble for stuff he did. You know what I'm saying? All the time, all this.
Oh man,
That is hilarious.
well, I pray that he don't find out.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
At least he don't want to break up a happy home.
But he said that's what brothers are for.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for sharing. No judgment here.
Y'all gonna put it on the station?
Yep.
You know it.
All right, cool. If y'all hear this, man, they got a dude I work with glasses. I ain't gonna say his name, but he, you know what I'm saying? He be listening to the station too, though. But I appreciate it.
Okay. I guess that was a shout out, but not wanting to say no names. Okay, thank you. A dude with glasses. We got one in here. Hey, anonymous caller. Hello.
Hello.
You ready to tell us a secret?
Oh, yes. A dirty old rotten secret.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me get ready.
Dirty old rotten secret.
All right. Hold on. Let me
A
get some
dirty
wine.
old rotten secret. It feels so good to let this out.
Okay. That's what it's for.
I used to mess with my boyfriend's nephew.
Ooh, before him?
Yeah, like years before him.
Okay. All right.
So I just don't go to any family events.
Yeah.
How did you realize it was his nephew?
It was kind of like listening to his conversations, and then the whole last name thing. I was like, wait a minute.
The last name.
Your dad passed away, but it was like the other guy's uncle. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the other guy was like, oh, my uncle died. And then the boyfriend was like, oh, my daddy died. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Oh, wait. So was it an overlap?
No, it didn't overlap.
Okay, I'm just wondering. And do you think, does the nephew know?
Yeah, the nephew know.
Okay.
I love that neither one of them are saying anything.
So once I realized that they were related, I was like, look, I like your uncle. He was like, man, get out of here. I don't want to hear that.
Nope.
But I was always, but at that time, it was summer. Megan Thee Stallion was in my head.
Okay. You was having a hot girl summer. I ain't mad at you.
I was having yes, girl, he had that good. I just burnt her.
Okay.
Who's better, your boyfriend or the nephew?
Girl, let me tell you something. The boyfriend for Stu. It was definitely an upgrade.
Yeah. It was a hot girl summer.
Maybe that's not his real daddy or something. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, they related on the daddy side. Maybe,
Do the nephew still be trying to holler ever?
No, I'd be like, I done changed my number, moved, and everything.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for sharing with us. She ain't really do nothing wrong.
No,
she just didn't tell. I don't know if I would tell either.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna take that to the grave.
No, you don't tell that. Fair exchange is never robbery.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it that you were able to get that out there. It's been burning you up.
A rotten secret, dirty rotten secret.
And summertime coming up again.
Be careful, girl.
Maybe they got a cousin.
She's funny.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. She is funny.
Maybe they got a cousin. Yes, Anonymous Carla. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Miss G?
I'm good, thank you. You want to tell us a secret?
My secret is I'm actually married, but the girl that still has my head going crazy and stuff like that is actually somebody that she's jealous of.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Did you ever do anything with this woman before?
Actually, that's the crazy part. Like we met, we're good friends. She's always been there for stuff like that.
Ooh.
Never crossed any lines. But it's just this crazy chemistry and we're in each other's presence, and it's almost unmatched. And it's totally different. She knows who the girl is. She's seen the girl before. She's seen me in pictures with the girl before. But yeah, that's kind of who got my head going.
Whew. That's a tough one. Okay.
And so really, she was right to be a little jealous of this woman. Well, very jealous of this woman.
Yeah, I can't say that she wasn't, to be honest with you. But no, we never crossed the lines. We've always just been cool.
You think she feels like that about you too?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I've never really paid that much attention to it to see if she did or didn't.
What would you do if she was like, yo, I like you?
Honestly, I can't even front. Even though as good as it may sound at the time, I'm going to have to respectfully decline and keep it as friends.
Okay. All right.
Got a good man, Savannah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be next lifetime. Like they say, sometimes it's hard, it's impossible to, care for two different people. In the sense it is, but you have to, be smart with it. And, at the end of the day, that's the person that I'm with. I gotta respect that, and I don't need to cross any line. So, despite how I may feel and despite how she may feel, at the end of the day, I gotta keep my loyalty at home.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
You too.
Ooh. All right. Well, that was Tell Us a Secret. 800-292-5150. We'll always still take your messages on the voicemail. And we can play it for last word at the end of the show. But remember, it's anonymous and it's a no judgment zone. When we come back, we have Yeetie. And let's talk about somebody who made over $30 million and then went broke. Oh, my God. I'm scared. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
They say it's truth in the room.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and this is Jasmine from the Jasmine brand right here with me.
Yes.
And we love Yee tea because we actually talk about these stories all the time.
We do.
And yesterday was a big money discussion day for us.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
And today is also Wealth Wednesday, so we'll have some wealth discussions up here today.
Okay.
When Jennifer Streaks joins us. You know her from Business Insider. But let's talk about Steve Harvey. He was on Club Shay Shay, and he was discussing basically going broke. He made over $30 million. You would think you're set for life with that, right?
Right.
Well, it didn't work out that way. Here's what he said.
What the hell happened to the money?
It's called a divorce. I got jumped on, man, but it was even before the divorce. Cause, not gonna say who did it, but they got in cahoots with my financial planner. And I was writing checks to the government for 7 years. Writing tax checks, signing the tax checks, giving them to turn in. They was keeping them, taking the money out the account like I was paying taxes.
Right.
And keeping it for themselves.
Wow.
That's why you definitely got to watch your money. I love my accountant. He was actually up here before for Wealth Wednesdays, Eric Lee. Yeah. And I'm Christina. But I will say, he can see all the money in my account.
Yeah.
But he can't actually take it out. Yeah. So I love that. And he suggested that to me.
Yeah. Whew.
All right.
That's painful.
And there's more, right, of what he had to say when he was on Club Shay Shay about his finances.
When my accountant passed, a lady went in the office and found a box on the floor, and I had 7 years of unpaid taxes. And I'm thinking I'm even. And then my lawyer said to me, you ain't paid taxes in 7 years. Then I had saved some millions, but before I split the assets, she took all of that out the bank, moved it. The divorce was over.
Right.
It was just, let's split the assets. But you took all the assets.
Right.
And I was stuck with this tax bill. When I looked up, I had $1,700.
Not $1,700 left in your account.
From over 30 million.
Steve Harvey has oh my gosh.
Wow. But, these are important conversations to have. I know people who are going through it in their divorces right now.
Right, yeah.
And the main thing is the finances.
Yeah.
Right? And figuring out how to split up things.
Yeah.
If you have some assets, things that you made, maybe you had a business together. Mm-hmm. Who gets what?
Yeah. Well, what's great about him sharing this is that you can learn lessons from other people's story. Like, you don't necessarily have to go through it yourself. Like, we can listen to Steve Harvey talk about this lesson that he learned, and then we can learn the lesson and not have to actually go through it.
Right. And prenups, I know some people have issues with that, but it really is, nobody gets married with the intention of getting divorced one day.
Of course not. Would you get a prenup?
Yes.
Okay.
I think people should. It's a contract just in case. It's kind of like, because a marriage is a business agreement, and just like you have an operating agreement in business in case, because you don't go into business thinking that's not going to work.
Right, yeah.
You want to make sure there's an exit strategy that's easy for everyone.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario, and hopefully you don't have to use it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Tyrese now. He publicly called out, the judge that Tyrese publicly called out before his child custody hearing is telling him that he has to pay over nearly $250,000 to his ex-wife and almost $400,000 to her attorney.
Ooh.
People always talk about these situations and how the attorney is the person who really wins.
Yeah, attorney is getting paid.
He was in court yesterday to talk about his ongoing child support battle with Samantha Lee Gibson. He didn't want to pay the $10,000 a month he was ordered to pay last August. He felt the judge was racist and biased against him. Here is Tyrese in court.
We're hoping to accomplish shedding light on Samantha Gibson making well over $100,000 a year outside of what I make per year, and the necessary needs of the actual child are beyond met. It feels like punishment. It's just unnecessary. And if the roles were reversed, I just really feel like I wouldn't be sitting here.
Oof. Yeah, and I don't want to look at that money is not paying somebody. It is actually supposed to go for supporting your child, and it is expensive.
Yeah, children are expensive, especially the older they get too.
To take care of a child. Now, he did also give an exclusive statement to the Shade Room, and he said everything will be appealed. My attorney, Tanya Mitchell-Graham, stated that at least 30 things beyond the scope of the law was mishandled and flat out egregious and illegal. He said his ex-wife, Samantha, originally paid $7,500 only to retain her attorney over 2 years ago, and although she makes about $15,000 a month, she ended up with 2 different law firms, racked up legal fees of almost $500,000, and they never asked her for another dime because they were banking on the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. He said, after my attorney asked their attorney, why have you represented Samantha for free for well over 2 years? And she can clearly afford to pay her own legal fees. They both said, we really like her. So that was his statement to the Shade Room exclusively.
Tyrese is so funny.
Yeah. And he also posted, and he's talking about any fathers, advocate groups. He said, anybody that can represent me to get some new laws put in place that can go into Congress, I am ready, along with a whole lot of other fathers who continue to get effed over by the family law court system. I've never been the type of man to sit on my hands quietly and moan at home about everything. I stand up and I speak up about injustice.
Okay.
All right. And that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily headline news stories, but we want to make sure that you're well aware of them. They are flying under the radar, but we are here to give them to you on Way Up with Angela Yee.
News, I got news. This is the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here.
Hello.
Hello, happy Wednesday. Well, a happy Wealth Wednesday to you. Now, these are under the radar stories. These are things that we want people to be talking about more. You know, there's a lot of headline news stories that everybody's talking about, but some of these kind of fly under the radar.
Yes.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris. She opened the 2024 presidential campaign with a warning to Republican leaders. She was appearing before Democratic activists and young voters. And here's what she had to say, because a lot of Republicans are trying to scale back access to abortion, and they have been doing that, by the way. She was at Howard University, and here's what she said.
Fundamental freedoms are under attack in our country today, and it is the tradition of this university, and dare I say the tradition of our country, to fight for freedom, to fight for rights, to fight for the ability of all people to be who they are and make decisions about their own lives and their bodies.
You know, in just the last year, Florida and Texas have passed 6-week bans that were made possible by the Supreme Court ruling last summer that overturned federal abortion rights. And a judge in Texas also decided this month to suspend the FDA's decades-long approval of abortion medication. So that's yet another fight at the high court over that issue that's become a flashpoint.
Interesting. There's going to be a lot of discussion over this.
Yeah. I mean, I think people kept saying that this is what was going to happen. This is going to happen. But I feel like no one took it seriously until it did happen.
Yep.
All right. Now, authorities in a Mexican resort in Cancun said that they are trying to identify 8 bodies that were found dumped at that resort. And so they spoke to families of missing people, and the bodies were found in searches over the weekend where police were looking in wooded lots and even sinkhole ponds known as cenotes.
Okay.
So that more than 112,000 people are listed as missing in Mexico, by the way. That is so scary.
Yeah.
You know, there's been feuding drug gangs that have caused violence in Cancun and the resorts south of it earlier this month. Remember, 4 men in Cancun were killed in a dispute related to drug gang rivalries. The dead men were found in the city's hotel zone near the beach. There's just a lot of things that have been happening. You have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because I've been to Mexico quite a bit. We actually went to Mexico.
Yeah, we did.
During the pandemic.
Yeah, we did.
And we did go to the cenotes? Oh, we tried. It was a lot of flies.
Yeah, it was,
and then we were like,
mosquitoes.
All right. But even in general, like, I don't just leave the resort and wander off and do things like that. You want to make sure that you're always protected with people from wherever you are.
Yeah.
To just be safe. All right, and let's end it with something positive. A New Orleans high schooler has been offered a record-breaking $9 million in scholarship offers from 125 different colleges.
Wow.
Shout out to Dennis Barnes, who is a senior at International High School of New Orleans. Applied to 200 schools across the country. Some decision letters are still pending, but the goal, he said, is to reach $10 million in scholarships by the end of the month as he's waiting to get word back from more colleges.
Okay.
I love that.
Shout out to Dennis.
That is your Under the Radar. We do have the Way Up mix at the top of the hour. Plus, we told you Jennifer Streaks is going to be joining us for Wealth Wednesday. You guys are going to love her. She is a financial expert, and you know her from Business Insider, but she's worked with Forbes, a lot of different places. I follow her on social media. She gives great financial advice. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea. Come and get the tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Happy Hump Day.
Yes, happy Hump Day. Happy Wealth Wednesday. Happy Business Partner Day.
Yes, happy Business Partner Day.
I just made that partner day up, but it's our day. All right, now, Janet Jackson, apparently her concert has been pushed back. That's supposed to be tomorrow at State Farm Arena. It's been rescheduled because of the Atlanta Hawks. They have extended their series with the Boston Celtics with their last-second upset, 119-117 win over the Celtics. Now they have to host Game 6 of that series tomorrow instead of Janet Jackson's concert, so now her concert will be on Friday.
Okay. What happens if you were traveling, coming to town for that or something?
You gotta stay extra day.
Yeah, okay.
At least it's only one day later.
Yeah.
And not like a whole nother, you know. And I feel like when they book things like this, they also have to know there's a chance.
Yeah. I don't know if I paid attention as a, concert goer. If I
Not as a concert goer, I'm talking about like for the
venue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the venue. They have to know there's a chance that can't happen. If you can't make it, you get a refund.
Yeah.
All right, now Jamie Foxx is lucky to be alive, according to RadarOnline.com. They said he was seconds away from catastrophe after he suffered a terrifying medical crisis. Doctors had to work feverishly to revive him when he was rushed to a hospital in Atlanta on April 11th. He fell deathly ill while shooting the troubled film Back in Action with Cameron Diaz and Glenn Close. They said he suffered a serious medical episode and needed immediate attention. It was touch and go for days with him, and he had to be revived. He is very lucky to be alive.
Wow, he had to be revived. That's serious.
According to reports from sources, that emergency room physicians likely saved his life. He's very lucky he got the treatment that he did. That is a blessing that he's alive. I can't believe that was totally unexpected, I think, for people.
Yeah.
And Toni Braxton reveals that she had traumatic emergency heart surgery. She talked to People magazine, and she's been dealing with systemic lupus. I can't pronounce this word.
Okay.
But she disclosed that she underwent an invasive emergency heart procedure last September after 80% of her main heart artery was blocked. She's been hospitalized, she said, more times than I cared to admit, and understands the importance of frequent health checkups. But she said she wasn't taking her routine seriously. And that's something for us to all learn from.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm about to book my appointment today to get my regular checkup.
Right.
All right, and Daytime Emmys. Let's discuss.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about Daytime Talk Series host.
Okay.
Outstanding Daytime Talk Series host. We'll tell you who was nominated. Drew Barrymore, Kelly Clarkson, Tamron Hall, Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest, and Sherry Shepherd.
I'm rooting for everyone black, so.
That is amazing, by the way. Like, that's a nice group right there.
It is.
I don't know who's going to win that one.
That's some stiff competition.
Yeah, but that's good that we have so many great shows.
Yeah.
For people to be able to choose from.
And you've been on Tamron Hall.
I've been on Tamron Hall.
I'm sure you'll do Sherry.
Exciting news. I'm going to be doing CBS. I'll be doing Gil King's show tomorrow.
Yay.
So I'm really excited for that. Shout out to Gil King. All right. And Jack Harlow has announced that he has his album coming out this Friday. Jackman, it's called.
Okay.
We know a lot of things.
Yep.
Jackman, he said, my new album out this Friday, 4/28. So get ready for that.
He's topless in this photo, too.
And Nicolas Cage is talking about getting out of debt. He said he had to pay back $6 million that he owed. He was over-invested in real estate. Here's what he told 60 Minutes.
How much money did you end up owing to the IRS and to your creditors?
I paid them all back, but it was about $6 million. I never filed for bankruptcy.
That had to be a dark period for you.
It was dark.
Did the work help you
No
get
doubt,
through?
work. Even if the movie ultimately is crummy, they know I'm not phoning it in, that I care every time. But there are those folks that are probably thinking that the only good acting that I can do is the acting that I chose to do by design, which was more operatic and, larger than life and so-called cage rage and all that.
Cage rage.
Cage rage. He had told GQ last year, he said he was doing 4 movies a year back to back to back. And he said he still had to give it his all. And some of them are terrific. He said, like Mandy, but some of them just didn't work.
Okay. At least he's honest.
But imagine that, right? You got to take these movie roles that you know they're not good, but you need the money.
Yeah. It makes sense now because some of those movies aren't that good that he's done. I'm going to keep it a buck. But there are some good ones, too.
Yeah. Listen, out of the bunch, there's got to be something. Something got to hit.
It was tough times.
Sometimes you do it all. One of these going to hit.
Right.
All right. And, that brings me to this because we're both cash poor right now.
We are.
After this latest investment and thinking about Nicolas Cage, obviously I don't owe $6 million. But I'm just thinking about things that I had to do, hustles I had to do to get some extra cash.
Okay.
And I want to talk about that. Just what are some things you can do when you're trying to pay money that you owe, trying to get out of debt, or maybe trying to save for something that you want to put money down on. What are some things that you do? I'll tell you some of my secrets and you'll tell us some of yours, right, Jasmine?
Yes, I will.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the back. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
And we closed on a deal yesterday, and we're cash poor right now, both of us.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about Nicolas Cage, right? He said on 60 Minutes that he owed $6 million that he had to pay back. And he took all these different roles back to back to back to back. Here he is talking about it.
How much money did you end up owing to the IRS and to your creditors?
I paid them all back, but it was about $6 million. I never filed for bankruptcy.
That had to be a dark period for you.
It was dark.
Did the work help you
No
get
doubt,
through?
work. Even if the movie ultimately is crummy, they know I'm not phoning it in, that I care every time. But there are those folks that are probably thinking that the only good acting that I can do is the acting that I chose to do by design, which was more operatic and, larger than life and so-called cage rage and all that.
People do be going in on Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I mean,
in some of his movies.
Sometimes it's warranted.
All right, and but we were talking about things we can do to make extra cash. I was discussing the first time that I decided I wanted to buy a house. First thing I had to do was pay off all my debt.
Right.
I had $30,000 in debt that I had to figure out how to pay off. And then I had to crawl out of that hole and then start saving money and also fixing my credit. And that took a while, but it was a long-term plan for me. And so I did a lot of side gigs. I can write, and so I was writing bios. I was writing articles. Jasmine, I write for the Jasmine brand now. I keep offering.
You do keep offering. You've always sent like links and stories and suggestions for content.
But I can write. Is there a template? That's what I was going to ask you. There, I have to follow to write for the Jasmine brand.
Let me ask our editor if there's a template.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So blogging, that's one of the things. I did a deep dive.
Okay.
Into things that you can do to make some extra money. Freelancing, pet sitting, and doggy daycare.
Okay.
I see people walking with 8 dogs at a time.
And it's a part-time kind of thing.
Okay. Also senior sitting and companionship, babysitting and childcare.
Not babysitting.
I saw they have an app now for babysitting and childcare.
Yeah, they have lots of apps. I think it sounds fun to hang out with some seniors.
I did that the other day.
Yeah, I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's a nice thing to do. Being a handyman, I would not be good at that.
Me neither.
Mobile car washing and detailing.
Okay.
No?
Nah.
Personal assistant.
Okay.
Selling at local markets and festivals.
Okay.
Virtual assistant. You know what we could do too? Sell some of our things. Like, sometimes there's designer or even designer things that you could sell that you don't use.
Yeah, I do have some things that are nice that I could sell.
Let's see. A YouTube channel? That feels like a long play.
That feels like a lot of
it's a lot.
That feels like a long play.
Create a podcast. That's not always easy to monetize. People are always asking, how can you monetize that?
That's a long play.
Yeah, so I don't know about that one. That's from Forbes, by the way, this whole list that I'm reading, you guys. Test apps and platforms. Take online surveys. You can. I don't think they pay that well.
I think, I don't know. Probably like $20 a pop or something, maybe.
But what are some things you've done, Jasmine?
When I was in college, I did braids. I used to do like cornrows, like on guys. I didn't really have any girl clients.
I didn't know you knew how to do cornrows.
Yeah, I never told you because I don't want to be cornrowing your hair.
Now hold on a second.
So listen,
you did not tell me you know how to cornrow.
Yeah, so when everyone would come to my dorm, the guys would come to my dorm, and I used to do cornrows. So that was a nice little side hustle when I was in college. I worked as a server as a side hustle, and then post college, I bartended a lot.
Okay, bartending is good.
That was a lot of money, but also was just tiring because I had to get up and go to work the next day.
Right,
but I made really good money.
You have to make good conversation, be personable.
Yeah, and you just have your regulars,
And hosting is really good, like hosting at a restaurant.
I did that before too in high school. I feel like,
but bartending, you probably get more tips.
You make way more money, and it's a quicker transaction.
Right.
And also, I this is funny. I did taxes one season.
You did taxes?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had all these skills.
It's not skills. It was a software program.
So you do taxes and braid hair?
I don't do either of those anymore.
You.
But I did those as side hustles.
I'm really mad. I didn't know you know how to do cornrows all this time. You let me go and get my hair done, and all this time you've been sitting around knowing how to do cornrows.
Yep.
I actually feel deceived.
I can just do like straight backs though. Like we're not getting all fancy.
I can use some straight backs.
Oh my gosh.
I can save money now. When you're just sitting around, I'll be like, yo, can you cornrow my hair?
Oh my gosh.
All right, so those are just some of the things. like I said, I did a lot of writing, and that's kind of what my skill was. But what I'm also doing right now is getting my real estate license.
You are, yeah.
That's a longer play also.
That's a long play, yeah.
But I feel like it could be
that could be a lucrative play, though.
Lucrative play, because I am doing real estate, and it could save me money on some of my deals.
Yeah.
All right, well, when we come back, since we're talking about money and we're talking about Wealth Wednesdays, we have a very special guest joining us, Jennifer Streak. She is the senior personal finance reporter for Business Insider, but she's also worked at the Grio, for Forbes, but she really is an expert. You should follow her on social media. I follow her, and that's how I get a lot of my information. I always pay attention to what she's writing, and she'll be joining us. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Now I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. And in our business, every dollar counts. And Jasmine from the Jasmine brand just told me
Angela.
that all this time you knew how to braid hair and didn't tell me. Imagine having a skill like that and sitting around and watching me get my hair braided.
I don't have those kind of skills. I can just do like straight back cornrows.
I don't know that I believe you.
Oh my gosh. No, Angela, really, I can just do like cornrows. I can't do...
How come you've never been like, let me help you and like do your hair?
Angela, your hair is thick.
You be letting me come out looking raggedy, and all the time you knew how to do hair.
Angela, you've never
You've
asked
never been
me.
like, let me just fix this for you.
Angela,
and then I see you in here doing all this little stuff with your baby hairs and everything. You've never said a word. That's so interesting.
I've done your baby hair before.
That's really interesting.
And also, in my defense...
And you also told me you're a licensed esthetician?
First of all, I was joking when I
don't know.
Any brand. I'm my own brand. Okay, guys.
I feel so deceived that all this time you had these skills.
It's one skill. I can do cornrows.
Are you a licensed masseuse?
I'm not.
Actually, my best friend Santi is a licensed massage therapist.
Is she?
Yes, she is. She decided to pick up that skill when we were in college.
That's a good one. That's too much work, though.
I wonder if you're a masseuse, if you give your significant other massages or if that's work, and you're like, no.
I'll be like, that's too much work. That's a lot of work,
all day. I was wondering how they are able to like really, because my hands would get tired.
Yeah.
You know, people like give me a massage after like 3 minutes. I'm like, all right, you good?
Yeah.
All right.
Get up.
Party done.
Yeah. Body done.
All right. Well, it is a Wealth Wednesday, so we do have Jennifer Streaks joining us, and y'all know I'm a big fan of hers. And she is a journalist for Business Insider, and she gives great financial advice. I just posted her on my Twitter page. Make sure you follow her because a lot of what she does on that page, a lot of links to different articles that she's written. And you know, right now in this time, I feel like the economy is so strange. I've never seen things like this before.
Yeah.
One place is like, now's a great time to buy a house, and then you see over here, no, it's not. Then interest rates are going up, and credit card debt, and all of these different things. Well, she's going to help us out a lot. Wealth Wednesday with Jennifer Streaks. When we come back, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
I had a dream of living wealthy, and I don't mind sharing my wealth, dog.
Getting you straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
It's Angela Yee. I'm here, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
And it's a Wealth Wednesday, so you know my Wealth Wednesday partner, Stacey Tisdale, is here.
Happy Wealth Wednesday. We're going to go way up with Miss Jennifer today.
Yes, Jennifer Streaks is here, financial expert. Yes. Somebody who, by the way, I follow and read all the links to all of your articles and look at all your tips that you do on Twitter all the time.
Thank you so much.
She's awesome. So it's a pleasure to have you in studio now. People just did their taxes, and some people are getting returns. Some people did them earlier because they knew they were getting returns. And one question, and I want to ask you this, that people ask me a lot is, if I get a chunk of money, what should I do with it?
The first thing you should do is get out of debt. I mean, that is the first thing. No vacation, no new hair, no new lashes. Get out of debt.
Okay.
So many of us are carrying just lingering credit card debt, and we think as long as we make the minimum or just a little bit over the minimum, it's fine, but it's not. You're going to stay in that debt. It's going to stay on your credit report, and it's going to hamper any of your future financial plans. So the best thing that you can do is really concentrate on getting out of debt.
What about student loan debt? Should we just wait and see if they cancel it, or should we, be trying to pay that off?
I think everybody is waiting to see if they cancel it. That would be great. But you should also work on getting out of student loan debt. It is the lowest interest rate you'll probably have in terms of debt, but that doesn't mean you just let it sit there forever. I know people who are in their 60s and 70s that are still paying student loan debt. It comes to bear when you want to buy a home, when you want to get a car. It's part of your financial profile. So you want to reduce that debt as well.
Do you think that you should kind of chip away more at your mortgage if you have a mortgage?
I would get out of credit card debt first because that is that's probably going to be the higher interest rate.
Yeah.
So always take care of your high interest rate debt first.
Okay. And I hear mortgage is good debt.
Mortgage is good debt. Now, if you can chunk away at it, if you can get it down, maybe reduce your payment, that's fine. But it's not an emergency to pay it off.
What about in situations where credit card debt is crazy right now? I think sometimes up to 20%.
Interest rates are high.
Because interest rates are so high.
Exactly.
Someone asked me this the other day, if they should take a personal loan that they can get from their bank at around 8.5% to pay off credit card debt. It's a tricky question. That's exactly what it's a tricky question because you don't, taking out a loan is still taking out a loan and everything that comes with that.
But a lower interest.
But it's the difference in interest rates is incredible.
That's the thing. It's the difference in interest rates. I would almost try to do a balance transfer because they're still offering 0% interest.
I've done that. So transfer to another card that has 0% interest for a period of time.
For a period of time. That is the clincher, for a period of time. And really make sure you pay off all that debt before that intro period expires. Because if you don't, then the interest starts to accrue. And it will accrue on the first balance, not what you owe. So if you can get into a situation where there is 0 interest, then do that. The next thing, if you get a personal loan for like 8% and you have a credit card that's 19%, 21, 22%, then of course that might be the better option too.
We jumped right in with debt here, and we always like to provide people with resources. And everybody knows Angela and I are part of a credit building initiative called Stellar Fi that helps you build credit. And I also wanted to say that when you sign up for Stellar Fi at stellarfi.com, very important to us, you get free one-on-one credit counseling because that's, this is hard to do alone.
Again, it's a Wealth Wednesday, and we are talking to Jennifer Streaks, Senior Personal Finance Reporter for Business Insider. Stacey, you have a question?
Right now with this situation, the economy, tighter interest rates, what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, people are going to have a much harder time getting loans and getting credit.
Access to credit right now is tough. And that's why you really need to have a good credit score. Anything over, they say starting at 680, but you really need to be in the 700s if there's something that you need for credit. The housing market is a little wonky right now. I would hold off on trying to buy a home. Really focus on 2 things: getting out of debt, getting your credit score up. Those are the 2 most advantageous moves that you can make right now.
Now, I want to ask you about something that I saw in the news. And sometimes, depending on what outlet you get your news from, I sometimes am like, okay, let me see if this is true. Then I try to go to the White House website to understand this better. But this is about if you're looking to buy a home, mortgages are going to be changing starting May 1st, right? And it says upfront fees for loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be adjusted because of changes in the loan level price adjustments. The fees that vary from borrower to borrower based on their credit scores, types of homes, and more. And then they said that if you actually have higher credit scores, you may end up paying more, while people with lower credit scores will pay less.
Right.
Is that true?
I saw that, and it is true. And listen, I don't have a problem with that.
I do.
think it's about time.
We're talking about credit score.
I
got good credit for a
know.
reason.
For those that have worked on their credit score, yes, you're mad. You're like, I can't believe this. What was the point of it? Still hold on to that good credit score. But for those that are a little wobbly and you still want to be able to buy a home, it's not fair. It's almost like you're being penalized. There are so many institutional racism in terms of the financial system, especially when it comes to minorities. We have been sort of not getting the best information, resources. It's just starting now where you can get good credit for paying everyday bills like your cell phone, your cable, your finance. Exactly. So yes, if it's going to cost you a little bit less because your credit is not the best, I think that's fine because you're also going to be in a better position to actually pay that bill because your bill will be lower and improve your credit at the same time. So I have no problem with
this.
And
that credit score is going to help you in other things you want to do.
Correct.
But what if you just work so hard to get your credit score up?
I don't want to be penalized.
Wonderful for you. You're not being penalized.
You're not being penalized.
Well, I mean, it feels like it.
The way that because it's the way, that's why I'm asking you, because it's the way it's presented.
Right.
Yeah.
The way it's presented is like, I have better credit, now I have to pay more than someone who has worse credit.
I don't think that that's really going to be how it works out. I know that's how it's worded right now, but you're not being penalized for having good credit. Someone who has a little less good credit is not going to be penalized. Their interest rate is going to be lower, so it's going to be better for them.
I'm cool with that. I just don't want to say more. I just like to clear those things up because, like I said, I look at certain outlets and I know that people read a headline and they don't understand it.
And that's the gotcha headline. But it's something that's going to help people who have that less good credit score. It's still not going to be that someone who has bad credit is going to be able to go in and get X, Y, and Z. It's not going to work like that.
Right.
But if you have maybe a 620, a 640, a 615, you may now be able to do something financial.
And that's the design. That was the point of it, is to help people with lower credit. So it's not really meant to be like a diss to people on higher credit.
Correct.
It's not going to take any of that.
No.
All right. Well, Jennifer Streaks is here. She's the senior personal finance reporter for Business Insider. We have more when we come back. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Had a dream of living wealthy,
And I don't mind sharing my wealth, dog.
getting you straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it is a Wealth Wednesday. I have my partner in Wealth Wednesday, Stacey Tisdale, here with me. Also, Jasmine Brand is here, and we are talking to Jennifer Streaks. She's the senior personal finance reporter for Business Insider. You know her from The Griot, from Forbes, CNBC, a lot of different things. Plus, she gives great advice on social media. I do want to discuss saving for retirement.
Okay.
Right? That's something that's really important. I think about that all the time. Now, I have a family member. I'm not going to say who it is, but she's just like, look, I'm going to just keep on spending this money because I can't even pay off these bills anyway. And so who cares, you know? But then you also have to think about what happens when you're not with us anymore. Where does that money, that debt go?
Oh, the debt. Oh, it's still on your credit report. You still have a credit report. It's not active, but it's still there. And if they want to, they can come against your estate if they really want to do that.
You're getting into estate planning.
Yeah.
Now. People don't.
They don't realize that. They think, oh, well, you know, I'm 70 years old, I'm 75, or this person's deceased. If it is in their interest, if it's a large enough debt, they can try to come against your estate.
Let's talk about that for a minute, where we really want us to start doing some more on estate planning. Our community really has a disconnect here.
Right.
In terms of, it's not just you. You're leaving it for other people to have to clean up. And we don't talk about estate planning, and it really just turns into a nightmare.
It can, because you should have your retirement set up. You should have, life insurance. I don't care if it's $20,000. That is going to cover your funeral, more than likely.
And it doesn't cost, you can get it for like nothing.
For nothing. And also if you have any bills, and just think about that. What bills do I have? Do I still have a mortgage? Do I still have some credit cards? Do I still have a car note? And all that should be part of your estate plan. You should have a list. This is what's owed. This is what's left. This is what's going to cover it.
And you hear people who've worked so hard to do the right thing by their, by their families, give their kids the best opportunity.
Right.
And then something happens to them, and all of a sudden, you're becoming a huge financial burden.
Right.
Correct.
That's the last thing you want to leave
Life
behind.
insurance.
Last thing, yeah.
And disability.
Jasmine, you have life insurance?
I do not have life insurance.
You're gonna
Let's get her set up.
Yeah, I'll do it this week.
And
Yes,
disability insurance, you have like what, a
insurance.
7 times greater chance of becoming disabled than you do a premature
Long-term
death.
care.
Yeah,
Long-term
long-term
care
care
insurance.
was. I remember when my father passed away, he left everything in such great order, and it was still challenging. And he was, in good financial shape, but all of a sudden when he couldn't work anymore and he got sick and he couldn't get long-term care insurance because he was a diabetic.
Right.
$16,000 a month out of pocket, and you just watch everything he worked for change. And he lived for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's
And
the
that
thing.
happens
yeah.
too. That's the norm now, because people are getting sandwiched between having older parents and younger kids, and that's what's going to happen. And you can just take little steps like life insurance, long-term care insurance now that make all the difference.
And the earlier you get life insurance, the better, right?
Because it's easier to get.
I have a major insurance hack.
Okay.
If you buy a life insurance policy for your child when they're a baby in their name, it can turn out to be the best financial decision you ever made. 1, they're healthy. 2, you can buy life insurance policies that have a cash building value. So essentially the policy's investing in the stock market. That's money they can borrow against to pay for college. And when they get older, they might have health issues that make it harder for them to get life insurance. It's one of the best financial moves. We got one for my son, and by the time he's 40, the cash value in that will have built up to a couple $100,000 he can use for a down payment on a house.
Correct.
He can borrow against. But we have, if you go to teamwealthwednesdays.com, we have a lot of resources and a lot of information, but get a life insurance policy for your child in your child's name.
Exactly.
And what about one last thing I wanted to ask you, since Stacey first brought up everything that was happening with the banks and how much money you should have in the bank, because some people are just like savings. I just want to put my money in the bank, have this money just in case something happens. I'm just stacking my money, right? And then we saw what happened. And some people are saying they have several bank accounts.
Right.
And they spread their money through that because the FDIC only insures up to $250,000.
That's it.
So that is, people should have more than one bank account.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. If you are someone that's fortunate enough to have over $250,000, do not put it in that one account. The FDIC only insures up to $250,000. So if you're at $300,000, what's outside of that $250,000 is in jeopardy.
Right.
But what about if you don't have $250,000? Should you have more than one bank account?
You should still have more than one bank account. I have 3 bank accounts. One for everyday expenses, one for travel, and one for my savings. And then the one with the savings is the furthest away from me. I don't have an ATM bank card to it at all.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, this is great. Informative. I'm always learning.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for closing out Financial Literacy
Yes.
Month.
And make sure you pick up Jennifer Streaks' book, Thrive Affordably, of course.
Yes. And you
Your
can get that
month-to-month guide to live your best life without breaking the bank.
Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. This was great.
Thank
Love
you.
ya.
And when we come back, we have Ask Ye. 800-292-5150 is a number. Call us up. Let us know what you need some help with, and we got you.
Everybody access. Whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
You should know.
This is Ask Ye.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Ask Ye. This is when you guys get to call in and ask questions about anything. It could be about your love life. It could be work. It could be friendships. You know, Jasmine Brand is here with me, and she also has some great insight. Hello, who's this?
It's Ty.
Ty, what's your question for Ask Ye?
My question is, I've been with someone for over 4 years, and it's great. I'm respected. He's respected. But the sex is terrible.
Oof. All right, so explain why the sex is terrible.
Well, yeah, what makes it terrible?
Is it like his bodily parts? Is it his rhythm? What is it?
It's the bodily parts. And even, I've had people in the past that have, been a little bit below average, but it's like the connection isn't there. I do realize when we're in the middle, I find myself actually faking it.
You're trying to get it over with. Mind wandering, thinking about other things.
And that's the thing, because I love this person.
How's the foreplay, though?
It's good. I mean, he tries to do what I like.
That's good.
But it's not. I've had better.
Okay. Do you feel like it's fixable or no?
I mean, we've tried. I've said things in the past. He's tried to, bring toys into play, but I feel like it's not the same thing as if, a round that you've had with someone that you guys connected. It's been good, Your legs turned into spaghetti afterwards.
Oh, yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
What about oral sex? Does he do that?
Yes, he does.
Is he amazing at that at least? Because usually that's the case.
And see, that's the point. Can't even say amazing. It's giving about 6 out of 10.
Because that is something he can improve on. Are you very vocal about what you like? Like, do this, do that? Like, are you instructional?
I am.
Okay.
I am. And I see, you know what? I try not to, make him feel bad because I see him trying. It just be like, okay, you're trying and it's still not kicking.
I feel bad.
And now, how important is this for you in a relationship? Can you see yourself with somebody who's perfect in every way, but that's not it? Or do you feel like this is important enough that I can't see myself making this a long-term thing?
That's the scary part because I'm young,
Yeah.
Young girls, we still get feelings. And he's a little bit older, so it's like, do I just stay and, kick it through and act like there's nothing bothering me? Do I just do my own thing on the side?
No.
Do I leave him?
It's never a good idea to act like nothing's bothering you when it is. First of all, that is not a solution ever for a problem. And I don't think you should feel guilty if this is something that is not a negotiable for you. If it's not working for you, it's not giving and it bothers you, and you feel like I can't see my life like this.
Yeah, because it sounds like it's not going to get better.
Then I don't think that you owe it to anybody to stay with them just because they're good on paper, but then in real life, everything is not adding up? Because it sounds like you're like, look, I'm young, and clearly this is something that matters.
Yes, it does. And I have to tell him that because this is a relationship where it's like older and younger. So I do have to tell him, every once in a while I still get feelings,
Yeah.
You might have had your fun, but I still got feelings.
Right. And that's a good open conversation to have that he'll have to respect and understand. And, whatever you guys decide to do moving forward from there is y'all decision. But I don't think you should ever feel bad that it's not it for you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's another part of me. I'm definitely, the majority of the time, a people pleaser. So, his feelings and everything and his ego come into play when I think about, communicating that with him.
Yeah, because you know what? If you're not happy, he's not going to be happy. And that's just period. As much as you want to be a people pleaser, when you're not happy, that bleeds over into other things. And it's not anything you're going to end up being bitter, resentful. When you have sex, you're going to be like, ugh.
And you shouldn't have to fake all the time either. So. That's
right. And I fake all the time. All the time.
Yeah,
even when I'm in the middle of faking, I'll literally say to myself, well, hold on. Ease up and literally see if it feels okay.
Right.
And I keep going back to faking it.
And the Oscar goes too.
Would you be open to sleep with? Would you be open to staying with him and sleeping with somebody else?
Oh my God, Mano told you to ask about a threesome.
He did.
Okay.
No, not with another woman. I'm talking about would she be open to sleep with another guy?
Oh, like an open relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
You would be open to that?
But would he be open to that?
Well,
is the question.
Oh, would he be open to that? Definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck.
She's
and
like,
that's where this goes wrong at because it's like, what do I do? It's like, it's not. It's a lose-lose situation here.
Yeah. Well, we don't want you to lose ever, okay?
Right.
Right. Thank you.
All right. You're
Good
welcome.
luck.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that was ASCII again. 800-292-5150 is a number. If you ever need help, we are here for you. And you can always leave a message and we'll respond that way too. And speaking of leaving a message, when we come back, we have the last word. That's when you guys call in and you have the last word on the show. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jasmine had me out last night.
I did have you out last night, Angela.
There was a lot of peer pressure.
I definitely pressured you last night.
Yeah, I was like, why am I so tired today? And you know what I'm happy about?
What?
You're tired.
We're
really happy about
We
that.
are both tired. I got up late this morning, too.
But listen, guys, I'm going to be doing Gail King show in the morning. So make sure y'all, before I come in here, watch that. I'm excited for it.
Okay. What time is that?
A lot to talk about, 7 to 9 a.m.
Okay.
So that's going to be really dope. Shout out to Jennifer Streaks for joining us today for Wealth Wednesday with my girl, Stacey Tisdale.
Yes.
She is the senior personal finance reporter for Business Insider. And she has a lot of valuable information. I know Jasmine is about to get her life insurance.
Yep.
All right, so get your finances together, everybody. And let's do the last word, 800-292-5150. Anytime that you guys want to talk to us, in case you can't get through, you can always leave a message and we'll play it. Let's go.
Yeah, I was just calling in to comment on the secret. I happen to sleep with my kid's sisters, or not my kid's sisters, but that's nasty. Sorry, my BM's sister, secretly. She kind of made a shot out one time, and I definitely took advantage of it. And it's only happened a couple times, but I just wanted to, get that secret out. I'm probably going to take it to the grave. I changed my voice, so she won't be able to know that it's me. Thank you, bye.
My secret is I'm in love with my sneaky link. I can't let him go. I think about him all the time, and I'm ready to leave who I'm with and be with him all the time. Love you. You know who you are. My name's Benia, calling out of Philly, and I want to shout out myself and shine a light on my small business that I just started. It's called Woes and Vault. It's a children's apparel company. We're at Bows, BOWS, letter N, Bolt, BOLTS, on Instagram, and our website is Bows, BOWS, and ANDBOLTS.com. Check us out. Have a good day.
My secret is, Angela, you got a real sexy, pretty voice. Like, some of the women over the phone, when you talk to a woman, you can hear it. You know she's pretty just by her voice, and you got that.
My secret is I didn't have any money to move when I was moving out my mother's apartment, and my mother didn't have any money, so I slept with this guy so that he could move me to my new apartment. I felt dirty. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, man? This is your boy, Janice. To you, Angela, and you, Jasmine, man, congratulations on closing on that building. Big ups to you on your show, man. That's me shining a light on y'all, man. Y'all making big moves. Also want to shine a light on myself, man. You know, just out here doing the comedy, man. Y'all should definitely check out my IG, JANIZE, funny, FUNNY.
Going way up, turn up with Angela Yee.